What? 2-0 win, that's a crucial victory. I weren't feeling Burnley and I weren't feeling Vincent's company. Martin Dubravka had a poor game but we won that comfortably. Aaron Wan-Bissaka had a good game but I'm still feeling Dumfries. What? 2-0 win, that's a crucial victory. I weren't feeling Burnley and I weren't feeling Vincent's company. Martin Dubravka had a poor game but we won that comfortably. Aaron Wan-Bissaka had a good game but I'm still feeling Dumfries. What? How? Yeah, I'm leaving. No, I'm chatting. Yo, this is the OT99 Banter Room where opinions are shared and smoke gets served. We're back again. Look, it has been a long stint. We've been out enjoying the World Cup, man. Like, this is a momentous period right now. Google apparently saying that they've had the most hits ever in history. Look, we had about 5 billion people watching the World Cup. We was enjoying it, man. We saw Ghana crash out. We saw Senegal cash out. We saw Cameroon crash out.
Why do you have to start off with Ghana crash out for?
Look, I'm talking about all of the African nations, yeah, that I was interested in, right? So yeah, these are the teams that I was clinching to. Bruv, I ain't gonna lie, yeah. They gave a good performance. I ain't gonna lie, like they showed that they were pushing.
They recorded themselves.
You know, but yeah, it was a good time, and we just enjoyed it. We was off watching that, but we're back now. Manchester United had their first game, competitive game, should I say, since our last 2-1 win against Fulham. Was it 2-0? 2-1, 2-1 or whatever it was? 2-1. And now we're back again. I must say, I enjoy it, man. I enjoy seeing Manchester United again in the colours of red, performing for the badge. Look, let's get onto it. Guys, how are you feeling? First of all, Merry Christmas, because we might not even speak to each other.
Christmas.
Yeah, we probably ain't gonna speak to each other.
Yeah, we're gonna be arguing, all right. So
no, there's a game next week.
On the 27th.
But that's after Christmas. That's after Christmas.
Yeah, but we're gonna be arguing offline. We know that anyway. But yeah, Merry Christmas too. Merry Christmas to everyone, man.
Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas, my G's. Look, let's get into it. Look, Manchester United, a vital victory. We're through to the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup. We got that big win against Burnley. And for me, I was a bit worried because I saw Manchester United being off as a collective, cohesive group for about a month. And Burnley went back 2 weeks before us. They had 2 games. They're on a nice unbeaten run. Vincent Kompany's gone there and is doing a terrific job. And they've got the belief in them. They were more fitter. Well, I thought they were fitter. And Manchester United, when we break up the team and when we're off, like, we look kind of vulnerable, I must say. But, you know, we saw elements of that in the last game yesterday against them. And I was worried. I thought we was going to lose or draw that game, to be perfect, like, in all honesty. But I'm glad we're through to the quarter. So what was your views on the way we performed, Edwin, man? Watching that game, what was your views on it?
You can see we were off the pace and, you know, we didn't, and let's be honest, we didn't perform that well during the World Cup break. You know, the games that we had, even though we had a reduced teams,
the friendlies,
we kind of got battered a bit, didn't we? Like during those games. So it's not like we went, but we didn't go into it in the best of form. You could see there was some issues in regards to, you could just say they were off the pace a bit. You know what I mean? I know we won, but Burnley will cause us more troubles. Our goalkeeper, I don't know what he was doing yesterday. It's like he was there and he wasn't there. His concentration was poor. But the good thing for me is happy to see. Obviously, Martial looks fit. Rashford looks sharp. Rashford looks sharp.
That's my guy, bro. That's my guy coming back. Project Mbappe.
but I think we're off the pace a bit though. Overall, you know what I mean? Some of the stuff that we will get in trouble for. You know, when you become like you are the reason for your troubles. Like obviously Burnley played well, but we were just
self-inflicted.
Gave the ball away. Yeah, like one thing about Man United, we don't control games no more. You know what I mean? We don't control games. We make it too competitive when we can just, you know, control possession. But look, a win's a win. It's good that we went through, but there's a lot of work to do.
100%. I agree with that, man. I think we controlled the games in moments. We don't control the game in the full 90. We might have a good half, but we hardly have a full good 90 minutes, where we completely dominate. And from when we can pick out certain performances like the Tottenham one, for example, or things along those lines, there's ones where it's just like that should be a norm. Do you know what I mean? And hopefully then, like I say, maybe it's the tools. We ain't got the tools in the toolbox to be able to do that right about now. But I mean, Ten Hag's working with what he's got, and hopefully we can keep getting these wins, man. Look, NK, what was your thoughts on our performance yesterday, man, against Burnley? First game back after the World Cup. What was your thoughts?
Well, just like you, I was worried about the game because I wasn't sure if the players that went to the World Cup was going to start. But when I saw the lineup, it was a very strong lineup. We fitted out like a very strong lineup. I think majority of those players should be starting a Premiership game anyways. But I was quite disappointed with the performance. I was very, very disappointed with their performance, considering we had our strongest team out there. We got a result, which was the main thing because it was a cup game. But performance-wise, we cannot play like that against the Premiership teams because we'll get punished.
But we're still missing key guys though. The centre backs, the World Cup champions at centre back.
Yeah, but even so, because and the thing about the performance is it had nothing to do with the centre backs. It literally had not, because as good as Burnley was, they didn't really trouble us at the back. It was more to do with like the midfield battles. As a team, our pressing was bad. We were just happy to give Burnley the ball. Which this is Man United. We should never allow a championship team to come to Old Trafford and literally enjoy possession and literally play us the way they play. We were not pressing them. Like our attacking players were not necessarily pressing them. We were happy to give them the ball. Yeah. And what they done very well is that when we had a ball in the middle, they pressed us. So we couldn't really play like that. We were playing in moments. And I know Edwin said like, oh, Rashford looks sharp and everything. Yeah. I didn't see a Rashford that looked sharp. I just saw him like for the whole game. I think he played like 70 minutes. He had
Look. Leave Rash alone.
No, let him land.
Let me finish. Look, he had like about 2 or 3 good moments in the whole game. One of them was the goal. Apart from that, like the first half, he was not in the game when he was on the right hand side. I think when he scored a goal and then he went onto the left hand side, that's when he had a little bit bright kind of like moment, like about 2 or 3 bright moments. That's it. Bruno too. He I think he had a new role where he was dropping deep. He was misplacing a lot of the balls. Again, with him, he had like about 1 or 2 good moments where he kind of like passed the ball.
I'm getting a little echo. Are you hearing an echo? I'm hearing a little echo.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, someone was watching something.
All right.
But yeah,
it's cool.
Yeah,
now.
I'm still getting echo.
Oh yeah, I'm still getting echo as well. It's weird.
So
I can't hear you.
I can't hear you, but
I said I'll put myself on mute just in case the echo's on my side.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. So what it was is that I think from our attacker and our midfielders, to be honest with you, they were very poor. Or it was only 1 or 2 of them that was decent to me. The highlight of the whole game was Casemiro playing centre backs, and I felt like he was very good with that. Wan-Bissaka too came in, and I thought he gave a decent performance to me. So that was that. But overall, I wanted to go to the match performance. Look, I was very disappointed in the performance.
For me, yeah, Rash, right, carried over that World Cup. You see, the thing about Rash, what we need to realize is Rash for me is a guy that just turns up when you need him to turn up. He's not a guy there that's gonna consistently be like. I've come to the realization, and this is with Bruno as well. Like, these guys are not gonna give you what you want consistently throughout the 90 minutes of the game. They're not gonna be like a De Bruyne in terms of what do you call it, Bruno, and Rash is not gonna be like. I don't know who is a sick, consistent winger out there that's like Mbappe. He's not going to be that guy. But the importance of this guy is so like, you can be playing another winger, be giving you performances week in, week out. But Rashford's the one where it really matters. That's going to be churning out that match deciding goal. He's the guy that does it. And that's the thing, like someone like Rashford, I remember when Eric Ten Hag was coming in and his future was sort of imbalanced. And then even PSG was looking at him. I was just like, you know what? We can't afford to lose this guy. Rashford, yeah, is such a prized asset. At the age of what? 24, 25, is still very much a prized asset. You cannot afford. If you're looking at the talent pool out there, I think, you know what the thing about Man United fans is? I feel like we don't necessarily appreciate the talent that we've got in our club. I feel like we're so heavily focused on where they should be at. And rightly so. I mean, you're looking at the competition. You're seeing them blow, you know, out the park. Liverpool, 100 points, City, 100 points, performance. But I still feel like we don't appreciate the fact that we've got someone like Bruno that can whip out a pass like that for Wan-Bissaka. We don't appreciate Rashford.
But then is it, look,
run in his own half? The goal of the season.
There's a difference between appreciating and demanding more. And I don't think that these players can give us more. And you rightfully said it too, like, oh, he's not the guy to be giving you performance over the 90 minutes. And that's what our problem has always been. We got players who are very inconsistent, you know, in our team. 1 minute, like, for example, I said to you yesterday, if it was any other team that could take their chances, it would have been a different game. Because as a player, yes, you can produce those magic moments there, but you also need to be able to literally be in games, you know. And as I said to you yesterday, we go away with it, but as me and you know, in the last few years, it has not always been the case where those type of like performances and them not performing during games have gone punished. Teams punish us. So that's what I'm just trying to say to you. Look, as a striker or as a forward, they done what they needed to be doing, but sometimes in order for us to achieve and become a top team, those are just not enough. They need to do more in games.
No, I hear you. It's just for me, like, with someone like Rashford, we can see this season, in my opinion, he's doing really well. Like, he's almost got 1 and 2 goals in all competitions, right? He's got, like, was it 4 or 5 goals in the Premier League in 14 appearances and a couple assists. But overall in all competitions, right, he's got like almost 1 and 2. And my thing about it is just like, if you're looking at a wide man predominantly playing out, he's playing up top, he's mixing it, playing out wide. He's not a striker. We know he's not a traditional number 9. He's not a long-term solution up top, but he's still contributing to the goals and assists. And if he's playing out wide and could be churning in 1 and 2 in all competitions, then for me, that's like, what more can you ask for? I mean, obviously we want like that level of consistency throughout the team, and hopefully it does come. But I do feel like we need that guy that can just be putting in, like, we can just get the goals, because the goals is coming it's few and far between. Like, we're crying out, no, if no Martial's 1 goal a game. And when you got someone that can do that, it's just amazing. I looked at Salah, right, and people be like, back in the days, people like, oh, Salah, you know, he doesn't contribute to the game, he's just a goal merchant, whatever like that. But look, Liverpool, a lot of Mane was doing his work, but there was a place for Mane, there was a place for Salah to contribute. They all had their purpose in that team. And I feel like, we just need that. I don't know if it's going to be a Gakpo, whoever that adds to when we go out in summer and do it. But I feel like there's a place for these men. And look, I'm just happy that he's turned a new leaf, because he's happy, he's enjoying his football, he's laughing, he's smiling. You get me? And that's what we need. Edwin, what was your thoughts on Rashford's goal of the season? From the halfway line, he ran like a quarterback and went and slotted it in right side, you know, his weakest side.
I had to get you a Rashford shirt for Christmas, because
Bob, what was your thoughts, bro? What was your thoughts, Edwin? Because NK's on this I can't be pleased too easily Roy Keane flex, bro. What was your thoughts? That's you, Edwin. I think you're on mute, bro. This guy, bro.
Yeah, so what did you say?
I said, what was your thoughts, brother, on Rashford, this guy?
I thought, do you know what? Coming from the World Cup, he put a good performance in. You know, I think we got to give him the same kind of, like, I'm not saying compare him to Mbappe, but before Mbappe scored these 3 goals, I know he got 3 goals, he was quiet. He didn't do anything. There's games he don't do anything, and he'll score a goal, a wonder goal, then people be like, Mbappe is the best young player in the world.
It's true.
But during the game, he'll go missing.
70th, 80th minute, he was quiet.
Yeah, he was quiet until that, like, even with the other, even like with England, like he done a few things quiet. There's still people were rating. Rashford was quiet, but what makes players great? And even with Messi, remember that game, or was it quarterfinals or semi-finals? Quiet. Then he would do 1-2 things to win a game. Let's be honest, like the best players can have a quiet game, but when they need to turn up and do something special, they did. And Rashford did that.
Well said, bro.
He potentially had a quiet game, picked up the ball, went for a run. Good finish as well from the right-hand side, you know what I mean? And let's be honest, there's so many great players that will have quiet games, but in the spark of the moment, they'll do something magical. And that's all you remember. And he done something magical. I know he's against Burnley, but still a good goal. You know what I mean? Like, so we can't take that away. We've got to give the same energy as we give all these other players in the world that will have a quiet game.
Well, he asked me about his performance. He really asked you about his magical. As
a performance, yeah, at least he's getting to a stage. I'd rather Rashford either have a good game or be missing but turn up and score or do something special. If he didn't do anything or score, then we'd be like, he didn't have the best of games, and maybe we'll say it's because of the World Cup. But he still turned up and scored a wonder goal. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. You know, and as I said to you, for forward players, that's what you require of them, for them not to be in the game, and then they produce when it matters more. So for that part, you could say, okay, you know what, he done it well. But to me, overall, and with the team, it always comes down to overall, because there's going to be times where you don't get the magic moment to score the goals. So when you're not getting that magic moment, what are you contributing towards the team? And that has always been the question mark with some of the players that we go, and with attacking players too. If it's not your day that you're going to score that goal, what else are you going to bring to the team? For example, yesterday, Martial, he didn't score a goal, but then you look at overall performance too, it was very flat. But I'm sure if he scored a goal, we'll be talking about, oh yeah, he had a great game. So that's when I think, like, when we come to Man United and we demand something from the players here, it needs to be like that. Okay, if you're not scoring goals, what do you bring to the team? And if you score goals too, yeah, you've done your job too. So to me, that's what I'm just trying to say to you. Yesterday, he scored a goal, that was good, but overall performance, yeah.
But that's the thing. I feel like that's the thing. I do feel personally that we are very harsh. We are our own worst critics on our own players. I really do feel, because we saw
they're not winning nothing, so we have to be harsh.
We have to be harsh, and I mean, through past experiences, we've seen why we're harsh. But if you look at it, like you saw Bruno in a World Cup. Look, this guy, outside of maybe your Messi's and Mbappe's, it was Bruno getting the headlights in terms of the stats. If you see all the stats merchants come out, it was Bruno. But outside of the stats, if you look at it with your eye test, you could see that the Brunos, the Gakpos, the Argentinian man, them, you know, that Enzo, Fernandez, Alvarez, these guys, there's certain standout man you can pick, maybe like 10, 15 man roughly in the whole World Cup, where you can say, look, Bruno's name was right up there. Do you know what I mean? It was right up there. And I feel like Maguire even was
top. Bruno was top of the stat sheet.
Bruno was up there.
Ahead of Messi.
People were praising Maguire. People were praising, like, saying Shaw had a decent, like, performance. People were saying, like, whoever did manage to play, I know Fred didn't manage to play. Anthony was coming off the bench here and there. What other players of ours were doing? Obviously, Varane. You know what I mean? Like, these man, he ran his socks off, and I feel like Man United, I know that we need to do more. I know that we've got a lot of growth in the way we perform and play, but we've got some players here that if we don't appreciate, other teams will appreciate. And don't for any second feel like if these guys go up to auction, if these guys go up for sale, that there won't be teams ready to be like, yep, I'll have him. Yep, I'll have him. Yep, I'll have him. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like hopefully Eric Ten Hag can make it all come together, man.
But yeah, but then we'll see what you said. I mean, that's true too, but we've all know, especially in cup games, you can play like that because the objective is you just want to do. But for a long run, because remember last season, for example, when we were winning games and then we were just kind of like naked and everybody kept on saying like, oh, Man United are not playing well. But in the winning games, I think we won against Wolves, West Ham. And as a fan, you just knew at the back of your head that at some point it's going to catch up to us, because when the players stop getting the goals and they're not offering nothing, it become a thing. And you saw it last season when the goals dry up for certain players, they had nothing to show for it, you know. And I think we got too many of those type of players at Man United where there's more about creating magic moment, and when the magic moment kind of like dry up, they cannot put the performance with that. And I feel like we just need to have a balance of that in our team, where some of them produce a magic moment and others too are just that kind of like consistent kind of a performance, rather than just have a majority of them kind of like creating the magic moment for us.
You want like a Gabriel Jesus that even when he's not scoring, he's still putting in a shift for the overall team, and even if he's not scoring,
but
he's a big miss.
Even I think so. To me, this is it. If we're gonna have like say the strikers or our wingers and attacking players that produce a magic moment, that's fine. But we need to have like the midfielders that do the performance too, to kind of like support that. It'd be like how Liverpool used to do, where their strikers was literally just doing the magic moment for them, but then their midfielders was literally like consistent performance, where they will run their socks off, control games, literally kick everything out there. That's what, to me, I feel like we need a balance of that. You can't have like a whole like 6 man on a pitch just doing magic moment. It just don't work like that for me.
Talking about magic moments, look, Bruno produced another one of his magic moments where he flighted in that perfectly weighted ball to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And Aaron Wan-Bissaka produced the assist of the season. I'm guessing, but he did well to reach that ball and put in Eriksen. Edwin, what was your thoughts on Aaron Wan-Bissaka's performance? And obviously, you heard a lot of news about Aaron Wan-Bissaka potentially being put up for sale, and we already knew he's up for sale, but we hear teams that may be interested in him, like West Ham, Wolves, etc. What is your thoughts on Aaron Wan-Bissaka following yesterday's performance? Do you think like it's just a one-off? Do you feel like he should actually be sold, try and use whatever money we can, or even if it's a loan, try and use whatever money we can? Or should we bring in Ethan Laird? You're on mute, by the way, but what's your thoughts on the whole Aaron Wan-Bissaka situation after that?
I think he's done all right. Look, the guy hasn't played potentially the whole of the season, right? Lacking match fitness. He looked all right, but you can tell, number one, you can tell he lacks confidence. You can tell he doesn't want to be there. Because even after the assist, did you see him?
He weren't celebrating and he's muted.
Bro, he wasn't happy.
Yeah.
It's like he wasn't happy. You can tell he doesn't want to be there. But to me, it just doesn't make sense right now to waste time on getting a right back in January and searching for one when you're not going to play him as the first choice. You might as well just keep him as backup than wait to the summer. Focus on the areas we need to put. Like we need another attack. We need at least another midfielder and another attacker that can play up front. Right now, a right back, it would be nice to have one, but he can just stay as a backup like he has been doing.
But is Wan-Bissaka good enough? So now, obviously, Dalot came back injured from the World Cup or something like that. Apparently, some hamstring injury. So he might be out for a couple of weeks. I don't even know. Do you know what I mean? There's not been.
Okay, I didn't know that. If that's the case, then we probably do need another right back. But
that's the thing, though.
You sell Wan-Bissaka as well.
Is he good? Is Wan-Bissaka good enough to fill in that gap, right, until Dalot gets fit again, or do we say, you know what, right? Yeah, you might have had a good game. It's against Burnley, but can you fill in that void when Dalot needs a rest or if he's injured?
The thing is, we don't know until he's given the chance, because same with Dalot. At one point, we were like, we need another right back because Dalot can't do it. And then he ended up turning up under Ten Hag. So who knows what Wan-Bissaka could do with the right support and confidence put into it. But right now, you can tell like they don't want him in the team. So,
but it's weird because like Erik Ten Hag was just like from day one, like nah. So something he must have saw, and same with Brandon Williams. Something he must have saw where he's like, this guy, yeah, there's only so much I can teach. You just ain't got the raw talents, or what is it that he's not even giving him the opportunity? I don't know. What's your thoughts on it?
Go on, sorry.
Because some players, they're just not good enough. They're just not good enough. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, when it comes to technical ability, he's not one of the best out there. Even since he came to Man United, he's always been a defensive fullback. Going forward has never been his strong foot. Yeah. So he can, as I said to you, so it comes down to what I was saying earlier on. In today's game, he can do that. Yeah. But can he, across the season, be able to do it consistently? And also, you look at right now to the way football is playing and how the manager want to play too. Yeah, he like his fullbacks to get involved in his build-up play. Dalot is a big part of our what do you call it? Our build-up play when we're playing from the back. He at times involved in the build-up play. Wan-Bissaka cannot do that because anytime Wan-Bissaka get pressed on the ball, he's going to give the ball away.
Do you remember when they double teamed them? Do you remember when like Burnley players 2-man double teamed them? It was just like, oh my days, what do I do?
A lot of our players are like that anyway. When you press them, they give the ball away. And Wan-Bissaka is like that. And the manager, to the way in which he want to play, he requires players that are good on the ball, that can handle what they call it, they can be press resistant, you know. And he's not one of them too. And going forward too, it's just not that. So it's one of those ones where if Wan-Bissaka play 5 games, he can probably give you 1 or 2 good games. But unfortunately, that's not good enough for the manager because he's very ambitious and he's trying to win stuff. And when you're trying to win stuff, you need players that can be more performing on a consistent basis too. So in terms of what Delors offers, especially with the build-up play and what Wan-Bissaka offer in the build-up play, I think it's a big, huge gap between the two, that if there is an injury there, straight away the manager have to then look at different ways of kind of trying to play all together from the back because Wan-Bissaka cannot do that. So it's
I don't like Thingy at the right back as well. What's his name? Malacia. I don't like him playing right back, man.
Yeah. So it's just like tactically, when you lose a player like Delors, you don't have like a like for like kind of like replacement. So it's like when he's out and Wan-Bissaka come in, you have to change so much tactically. And I think a lot of managers don't want to do that, you know. So to me, I still feel like we still need to get into the right back and not just looking for a right back that can play back up to Delors. I feel like Delors too, he's playing good, but I think there's a lot of things that he needs to do, and they need to buy someone that can potentially either come and challenge him or take Delors' place, you know. Can't be marking like, oh yeah, he's playing good. Because to me, this season, he has played okay. He has defended, he has improved. But in terms of like some of the best right back in the league, I still think he got a long way to go before we consider him as some of the best right back in the league.
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting couple of it's going to be an interesting window. So obviously Manchester United is after, it seems like their prime target is Gakpo, and they're trying to seize an opportunity if it comes up with a right back situation, depending on what happens around Wan-Bissaka. It's going to be interesting to see what we can do in the window, because one thing I do think is if we want to get top 4, we need to invest. I do feel like we need to.
I agree with NK though. I think there's been a lot of like hype around the lot, but if you really look at him, he's not really been that good. Like in terms of like, not that it's been bad, but I think it's just overrated just because he's improved and we don't have any better. That's it.
I think with it's even the same thing with Rashford, because a lot of them had so much of a bad season last season.
Leave him alone, bro.
No, but it's kind of true what he's saying, bro.
I'm just saying because a lot of them had such a poor season, whatever they're doing now is being
it looks 10 times better.
Like so huge. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But if you look at it, they're just performing at a normal standard that a lot of the wingers in the league does it. It's not phenomenal, man. Like what Delors is doing. You will not tell me that he will get into the Liverpool or Man City. You're not even going to tell me that.
I think what's good with Delors is the fact that his defending has drastically improved, and not necessarily his crossing or outputs like that, but his link up, his build up play. Now, if you're looking at people like if you're looking at people like Kyle Walker, who's England's main left back, he doesn't get assists. You check his stats for how many seasons. He doesn't get assists. But he follows instruction well, he's got good speed, he can defend well. Delors improved defensively. He's not really getting too many assists like that. He doesn't, but his build-up play and his link-up play is really good. And I feel like if you're looking out there in the market, right, there's an upper echelon of right backs, right? You've got your Hakimis and all of them, man, in that bracket, right? And then you've got these guys here that are just like, they're doing like Delors, right? For me, I feel like he is the most improved in Manchester United, full stop, because this is a guy that was flimsy, lightweight, bro. I'm seeing him going to tackle, sliding, henching guys out. And look, and if you can contribute into build-up play as well, look, I'll take that. I'll take that over maybe someone that's just good defensively, like Aaron Wan-Bissaka, but then can't contribute to build-up play. Or I'll take that over someone like Trent even, where he is just contributing like attacking wise, but then if he's getting found out now. You know what I mean? So
but you see, and I always say there's always different elements right now, even with the best teams that win stuff, because they are majority of them attacking. They don't face a lot of like defensive opportunities, so their center backs have less to do. If a lot of them was to kind of like face the amount of like defend that Man United even have to do, you will see a whole different, like you actually kind of like questions one or two of their fullback or center back, you know. Maguire can probably slot into like a City team and be comfortable out there because he's gonna have less defending to do.
Yeah.
So it's just different for them. So that's why I love like the teams that win stuff always want to go for the players that can contribute to attacking, because the best way of defending is by having the ball. You know, when you have the ball, you are actually defending, and that's what City does. City will have the ball, pass it around. That's them defending, you know. And if you have the ball, they're not going to defend. So I feel like, so if Man United are good on the ball, where we are able to control games, your fullback don't really need to defend like that in 90 minutes to be so superb in defending. As long as they can be good in attack and help you, control possession and also offer something up front. They're not doing that. Liverpool, as a minute, they're not able to control games for that long, and that's why guys like Trent are being fun now. But once they sort one or two stuff out, he's gonna have less defending to do, and once he has less defending to do, nobody cares about that. You know, nobody really cares about that. So I think there's a balance to that. You know, rather your left back defend 24/7, or you rather see him high up the pitch, contributing to attacking.
Okay, cool. So Casemiro, Edwin, did we get a glimpse of his future, like his long-term future at Manchester United, his role at Manchester United, or is that just a one-off and he's just going to be playing out his defensive midfielder?
I think it was a one-off. Obviously, he had a good World Cup. It's not like he had a bad World Cup. He played well for Brazil. I think it just showed that he's an option for the back, but I think we need him in centre mid. We don't have someone like him in that position. Plus, we still got Varane and Martinez to come back, and Lindelof, and Maguire is still there. So I doubt he will leapfrog them in that position, but he did show he was a good option. And as NK said, he put a good performance in the centre-back. Very composed at the back. His positioning is good. He understands the game quite well. So I don't think it's a long-term, but I think it just shows that option-wise he can play there.
I'm thinking though, like if Varane gets injured, which he usually does get injured, would it be a case of us going into the summer? Is Eric Ten Hag thinking, let me buy another centre back, or is he thinking Casemiro can fill there? Let me go and buy another ball carrying midfielder and save myself that money for a centre back. Do you know what I mean? And
I think you just hit the nail right there. Yeah, because what I saw yesterday, I saw Ten Hag just pull. Because to me, I always say like he's a chess kind of like player. You know, he already know what kind of move that he want to make, but he waits until the right time to kind of like play one of his kind of like chess moves. He done that with Maguire, where he wanted to take him out of the team, but he waited for the perfect moment where they made a mistake and then took him out. With Casemiro, one thing yesterday that I saw, and compared to kind of like Varane, is that yesterday when we had the ball at the back, the way in which he was playing those kind of like passes between the lines was very good for centre back. So normally, you know how when we struggle to kind of like play from back, and your centre backs are on the ball more, and you want them to kind of like sometimes play those type of like passes because your centre midfielders are being kind of like marked or occupied. He was able to do that, which is what we expect for Martinez to do. And Ten Hag used to have Timber and Martinez do that for him in the build-up play. And I think Casemiro done it so much perfect yesterday compared to how Varane would do it. Because Varane, as long as he's good, but he's not good on the ball like that, you know. So I feel like it's something that we're going to be seeing next season. And it will allow him to get like a defensive midfielder in there who's much more like a playmaker. And then allow Casemiro to kind of like do that too, you know, because he like players that are good on the ball. So I think we're going to see a lot of that. Look, guys,
we ran out of time, but we shared our views. Let us know in the comments what you think. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas.
If we don't see you before then. Peace.